The 12 days of FLUFFENMASS. Tales of festive grimness and dark festival.
KRANGLE the Herder. Written and read by Adam Nichol. You know Gnasher and Gobbler and Crusher and Smasher, Snapper and Stupid and Skinner and Masher. But do you recall the most dangerous squig of all? Once upon a time, in a place not so far from here, there was a little settlement of grots. They lived inside a giant cavern, and they spent their days running into the nearby human towns to smash them up and to steal glass bottles, gold coins, and anything that looked shiny or edible, or both. There was in this tribe of gloom-spite gits a squigherder named KRANGLE. KRANGLE cared as much as any grot for his squigs, by which I mean he didn't set them on fire, or eat the little ones when nobody was watching. KRANGLE always loved the days where he could run his squigs through a human town, and once a year he would let loose his biggest squigs, ones he had spent all the year feeding up to make them big and strong and smelly. These were his prized big-un squigs. This year he had 8 squigs. Well, KRANGLE actually had 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, as he was unable to count beyond 2, and usually he had lots or many, or in one case a bleeding crunkload. Thus was the numerical skills of KRANGLE. KRANGLE saw on this day that one of his big-un squigs was different to the rest. It had a giant red mushroom on top of its head, looking for all the world like a little fungal hat. The light it gave out was a bright glow, one that illuminated the cavernous home of the gits. He named this one Glowa, to go along with Biter, Bigger, Not So Bigger, Teefy, Snapper, Dat One, and him over there. KRANGLE's naming skills were almost as good as his counting. He saw that Biter and Not So Bigger kept trying to eat the mushroom on top of Glowa's head, and KRANGLE began to realize that this might be some form of potent madcap mushroom, or one of those famous ones that could cause prophecies and visions of the future. And a plan began to hatch in KRANGLE's stupid brain. Grabbing some snotlings along the way and roughly hurling them into a bag which he threw over his shoulder, KRANGLE made his way into the squig pen.
"Glowa,"
he said,
"with your shroom so bright, won't you lead my charge tonight?"
All of the other squigs snorted and began to eye up both KRANGLE and the wriggling bag on his back. KRANGLE threw the bag onto the floor and gave it a swift kick, and the tiny greenskins began to scarper, chased by the big-un squigs, who enjoyed exercise before a snack. KRANGLE, eyeing the glowing, pulsating mushroom, began to talk in a low, for a grot, voice, attempting to placate and calm the beast before cutting away the mushroom. He placed his hand on the squig's side, his knife in the other, before he heard a sick, wet whump. Looking at the stump of his arm, KRANGLE had seconds before Glowa jumped and swallowed the herder whole. The mushroom glowed green for just a few seconds before Glowa charged at and broke through the fence of the Squig Pit, and began his rampage and carnage throughout the caverns. The stories still say that on a cold winter night you can see his glow as he chases and devours the grots that once held him in place.